Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 3136, 3136. I am Mike Matthews. Welcome to Café Anyway, somewhere in podCastro Valley.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The last place on earth in Mike Matthews. Here we are. It's wonderful. People are hanging out, and they are trying to find some sort of way to say goodbye to the day. Because it's been, let's just say a crazy day. It seems. Okay. That's all I got. Sesame Street's Elmo's X account,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
got hacked about a month ago, and they published racist and anti-Semitic posts while calling for
Mike's
the release
Daily
of the Epstein files.
Podcast.
I'm not going to try and do an Elmo voice.
Yeah!
As you know, you just have to get your voice to go really, really high. Ear-piercingly high. Not like the ear lobe piercing, but the inside of the ear piercing, which is never good. It's FFF episode 3136, 3136, and Mike Matthews. Well, I bring this show to you and we discuss things, and sometimes we discuss things that are ever evolving and moving, and parts are just in all kinds of interesting configurations.
Now that's legit.
For example, I kept hearing the stock mentioned a lot. Firefly Aerospace, a U.S. startup that makes launch vehicles and spacecraft. It operated at a net loss of $231.1 million last year. They make launch vehicles and spacecrafts. That just, I hear that story and people just go, yeah, okay, they make launch vehicles and spacecrafts. This is extraordinary. It's 2025. And all that stuff Dennis Hopper was talking about where he was complaining just a few years before he passed away, and he did a commercial for I forget who, and he's like, where am I? I was promised flying cars. Where are my flying cars? Well, they got those too, but not Firefly Aerospace.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The podcast picture's not of any spaceships. Mike doesn't know what it is. Mike Matthews is completely in the dark. So see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. It'll be something so cool from recently. I'm thinking I might post a picture from, maybe Alameda. I've been posting a lot of pictures from there, though. Or that Bluegrass Festival I was telling you about last podcast. But, so this company has partnerships with Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin. Of course, these places make jets and such. And planes, which you would need. The late great Basil the Boxer never was in a plane. Not that he was missing anything, but hey, dogs in planes, they don't like it. It's a necessary evil. If you want to take them somewhere that's going to be a long, long drive, too long, you fly them and they don't like it. But at least it gets them there. So let's see. It says Firefly's Blue Ghost became the first commercial spacecraft to successfully land on the moon. Was that the company that kept trying to land on the moon, but they'd be slightly off and tip over and they'd have to start all over again? But they've got $1.1 billion worth of backlogged orders. And then they recently hit a $9.8 billion valuation as their shares took off on the NASDAQ debut. This article from Bar Chart, they said that it remains in focus, this Firefly Aerospace, after its blockbuster initial offering, IPO. It raised about $868 million recently. It priced its IPO at an upwardly revised $45 a share, but it actually opened at $70 in its debut, fetching the space technology company a valuation of nearly $8.5 billion. Now they shorten it down to Fly. That's its ticker symbol, FLY. Fly's debut marks one of the most successful public offerings in the aerospace industry this year, fueled by investor enthusiasm for next-gen space infrastructure and defense capabilities. Fly shares may be worth buying following the standout IPO as investor appetite for tech offerings has returned in 2025 with names like CoreWeave retaining strength even months after their market debut. After its initial surge, Firefly stock has pulled back a little in recent sessions, creating a compelling entry point for those interested in owning for longer term. What's also worth mentioning is that Fly sits right at the heart of a high-demand niche, dedicated small payload launches for national security, commercial clients.
I can't believe... What the hell is this place anyway?
It sounds like the Star Trek Enterprise is what we are, but we're Café Anyway in podCastro Valley. But we just launched and we're in space right now with all these people hanging out. And the bartender is Whoopi Goldberg as whatever that character was on the Star Trek Next Generation spaceship. They're also doing commercial clients. They're doing small payload launches for national security, commercial clients, and hypersonic testing. With space exploration and defense spending on the rise and IPOs regaining momentum, it's likely that Firefly's stock's recent dip will prove a temporary breather before its next leg up. Perhaps by the time you are listening to this, it's heading up. But they're based out of Cedar Park, Texas, and they say their top line grew over sixfold to nearly $56 million in the most recent quarter. Well, that all from the people there at Bar Chart, and Wajid Khan wrote that article. So don't know anything about buying stocks, and actually hired somebody for that years and years ago to help me with that and other financial issues. So I am definitely not an expert. I rely on the experts for that.
Anyway,
but that's what these people at Bar Chart are saying through the MSN.com website. So another interesting thing technically involved in the tech industry, Apple, they did really well with their Formula One movie, their first big movie that they released that did really well. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in podCastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica. Not only did it score at the box office, but it is on track to win the rights. Apple is on the track to win rights to stream the 2026 races, and they're taking it from ESPN. They offered a bid of at least $150 million, and ESPN won't attempt to beat it. And they already have the streaming rights for Major League Soccer, as some people love what they call football in Europe. Here in America, it's building. There's the women's soccer teams now. There's the local one in the Bay Area getting lots of fans. And there's also the one in San Jose.
Good morning, Mr. Matthews.
Earthquakes. Hey, that's what it is, kids. When there's an earthquake, jump under your desk. That's what we were told. As well as some baseball games Apple has. Let's see, Taylor Swift, she's not the one expected to generate $200 million in economic impact. But Bad Bunny doing a 30-day residency in his home country of Puerto Rico. Some sad news, though, that a New York man was fatally shot in Puerto Rico's La Perla neighborhood in San Juan recently. He was only 25, visiting the islands with friends to attend the Bad Bunny concert. On Sunday, Kevin Mares was out when a few people began to fight across the street. His father, Hector Mares, said somebody got a gun and started shooting. Unfortunately, they hit my son in the abdomen. Mares was an innocent bystander caught in the crossfire of the shooting, and his death has left his family completely devastated and in shock. Don't know how much this is going to cloud the residency in Puerto Rico. Bad Bunny is so popular, and definitely Puerto Rico's big, what do you call it? The shining...
You ready?
I can't think of the word I want. Superhero, I guess. That's a good one. So, well, yeah, some tragedy involved there. Not to bring you down. some of the news I have will bring you down. What didn't go down was Bitcoin. It soared past $120,000 to a new record high about a month ago. It was climbing up recently again. Bitcoin surge is driven by long-term institutional buyers. And the U.S. House of Representatives is deliberating on a series of crypto bills. One bill was, the Genius Act. They were working on that as well. Establishing federal guardrails for cryptocurrency. Let's see, it is, according to Yahoo, the Genius Act, and the stable coin, the dollar peg digital asset quietly powering payments and blockchain infrastructure across the digital economy. What happens when Washington draws a legal line around it? That's the question at the heart of the Genius Act, the first federal law to formally bring payment stablecoins under federal oversight. The law marks a turning point, moving from improvisation to infrastructure. Whether you're a fintech founder, investor, policymaker, or just wondering how AI might one day...
That's wild!
Isn't that wild? How artificial intelligence agents might one day handle your transactions. This is a critical moment that requires your attention, according to Yahoo. But, I am so not into the whole crypto thing, even though I see it climbing. I'm like, who's buying that at over $120,000 a coin? It's ridiculous. The people that started off on this ride, with buying it for practically nothing, they probably sold it long ago when they first saw it break 100,000 or more. Donald Trump has branded himself as the pro-crypto president and is involved in several crypto ventures. Yes, so there is that. And finally, did you see the Superman movie that came out? It launched the DC Cinematic Universe with a $122 million opening.
It's Bison Bentley's. Do you know that?
Do you know that?
Hey, this is Bison Bentley, and Mike Matthews has a couple of stories that'll make you want to ask yourself, do you know that?
Do you know that? Wow, this 120 million keeps popping up. This is ridiculous. Wait. 120,000 was what Bitcoin soared past. At 122,000 was the record high for Superman in launching. It was 122 million that it made in its first week in domestic ticket sales, and globally in its first week, 217 million. The third largest debut of the year. Guess who it's right behind? At number 2, the Minecraft movie with Jack Black, and at number 1, the Lilo and Stitch live action movie. I love how I always have to announce that it's the live action movie, not the cartoon. Not the cartoon that was classic, the live action, because live action, in my mind, when you say live action, you just might as well have just said the word lazy. Lazy cash grab. So it's a brand new DC Comics, Superman, Batman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman. That is not, and I hate when people say
Do you have any safe spaces?
Safe spaces?
Oh. Yes, where people can go to get away from the colonialist mentality. As long as there's a diversity, equity, and inclusion policy, we'll be fine.
There are no safe spaces. Unless you go to Washington, D.C., where apparently now there's all kinds of police and National Guard clamping down on everything. Just, hey, there's going to be no homeless. Get the homeless off the street. Get the crooks thrown in jail. It's going to be... And what's interesting is I hear people on the left complaining about that. Oh, he's a dictator. Well, what about Gavin Newsom about a year or two ago when he clamped down on all the crime that was happening in Oakland and sent a bunch of CHP there? And then remember he passed a law saying that cities all over the state have to do more and They have to clean up. They said there was a rule. You have to clean up all the homeless encampments. So, the left can do it too. The left has done it too recently. So, the launch of this DC superhero movie, it's got Warner Brothers behind it. Oh, and I can't stand it when people go, Warner Brothers. I'm talking about the Warner Brothers superheroes. Think. And somebody will say, think.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
No, wait. I'm just clarifying. When someone's trying to explain something, they'll say, yeah, it's a superhero movie. Think capes and super abilities. They use the word think. Don't tell me what to think. What is this? I'm not about that. Don't tell me what to think. This isn't Big Brother. Well, was that groupthink? No, groupthink was the thing. That was deep think. There was something think in 1984, the George Orwell movie. There was deep thought in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There was groupthink happening with the Bay of Pigs when JFK had a bunch of people. His advisors were all, yeah, whatever you want. Yes, men. They were all yes men. And they didn't come up with a good way to do whatever the thing was.
Note to self.
Note to self. I'll figure this all out later and read a history book and get all caught up. Had something to do with Cuba, right? And it was a horrible historical moment. But the domestic hall of Superman, which, by the way, then he did much better when during the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? That's when he did it right. That was he avoided groupthink. It's what I was supposed to learn in that history class that I took in high school. The Domestic Hall of Superman is the best solo build Superman film ever. Apparently, even beating out Christopher Reeve's movies, and definitely outpacing 2013's Superman Man of Steel movie with Henry Cavill. That took $116 million in. So,
Mike Matthews, you not know Mike
I'm Mike Matthews.
Really?
Yeah.
Eminem.
Hang on, this is going to go on for a while, so let me just stop this right there. Okay. Ugh. Hate that when they do that. Okay. But yeah, it was $122 million this time around, so definitely beating out the $116 million that the Henry Cavill one did. And my lovely lady friend had to leave the theater during the Man of Steel movie with Henry Cavill, with that whole thing with the prisoners that escaped from Krypton, and they're trying to drill a hole through the planet, and that whole thing went on and on. Oh my gosh, that was so annoying. So, and part of the thing that's doing so well is that guy from the Guardians of the Galaxy being behind the Superman movie. So I did not see it. I did talk to someone who saw it, said they liked it. Although they pretty much like all superhero movies, so I don't know if he was the best critic to talk to about that. I guess I'll go see it at some point. But I guess I'll talk to this person right here. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. Hi, when I brought my horse down.
That's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what.
What?
I just think that all this stuff up in the sky, like the firefly, and isn't that supposed to be like a reference to that movie that had the guy with the spaceship who was also in the DC comic superhero movie? Tell you what.
What?
The guy that played the Green Lantern guy.
Nathan Fillion, that's right. Nathan Fillion was in the TV show Firefly on Fox. I really got into that. It's interesting. People I talk to say, oh, I really got into that sci-fi show thing. So it's a sci-fi show thing is what they call it. Isn't that the official name?
Try to game me. No.
All right. I don't know how to use English. I'm just going to be honest with you. But look who else is here.
Oh my God, make delicious root beer. Have some right now. Oh,
I could sure use this to... Maybe it'll help my words come out of my mouth. Oh, that's delicious. What's in there?
Mike, I put some delicious bits of honey. Honey is healthful for you, and sarsaparilla mixed together a delicious treat. I put the recipe online and on my YouTube video. Oh, boy, drink right now, cut you.
Wow, what's the name of your YouTube channel?
That's it, drink right now, cut you.
Oh, all right, well, Try and find that video channel. It'll be an interesting adventure for you. Also, an interesting adventure is you going to the phone and calling me with what you think about anything we covered today. Here is the phone number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
And with all things having to do with Mike's Daily Podcast, we go to the main frame and hear from A-Frame, who will tell us anything else we need to know. You know, there's just not enough time for all that I want for you. Oh,
I don't even know what that means, but I love it.
that's what happens when I try to sing a song from the 80s. Actually, that was the 90s, In Excess. A great album. Welcome to Wherever You Are. Oh, people forget about that album. That was a great 90s album.
Brewmaster.
Sadly, one of the last ones that Michael Hutchence would do. But see, that he knew there's just not enough time. So they're not making any more of it. Make the most of all the time. And cliche. I know it's all cliches, but do the best you can with doing the best with the time that you have. And now we wrap up the show with this little bit here. Thank you so much for listening.
Oh, would you look at that? Another human being with a smaller creature attached to a leash. Hi, I'm JD Vance. What's that? Are you asking what kind of breed he is? For how long? For how old he is or how long I've had him? How long have you been walking? I'm sorry, are you asking how our walk? Okay, good. I love to mingle with the people. Here comes another one now. Hi, I'm JD Vance. How did you install those little wheels under your feet? You mean my rollerblades? Okay, good. So how long have you been walking? Walking where? Okay, good.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!